9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Women's Wrestling Talk, the #1 women's wrestling network on the planet.
Hello, everybody. This is your WWTP Princess. All things you need to know about All Elite. Timeless Elite. Courtney Rice is with you on a Wednesday on this Dynamite. I know I have a little bit delayed, but I did catch up on some of the action. We did see Cope in an ambulance because he said his promise. He's going to take out the Death Riders one by one. And we also heard from MJF. And now we hear from Mr. Hangman Adam Page. And it's coming to you live from San Diego, California. So it looks like Hangman Adam Page is entering the ring because he is in action tonight. Because as you know, he has a match with MJF ahead of Revolution. So it's really awesome to be here with all of you. We have a huge jam-packed show for Dynamite tonight, as you mentioned. We have a bounty match between the Bad Apple Bryan Keith taking on the aerial assassin Will Ospreay. We also have some tag team action. The Murder Machines taking on the Outrunners. The winners of that match will meet the Hurt Syndicate for the AEW World Tag Team titles. We're also going to see the Virtuosa Deonna Purrazzo taking on the ever-talented Harley Cameron. We're also going to hear from Prince Nana and Swerve Strickland after what happened last week between the promo between Ricochet and Prince Nana. We're also going to have some trios action. Daniel Garcia and FTR taking on the Undisputed Kingdom in trios action. And of course, yes, Foza, the main event for the AEW International Championship, Konosuke Takeshita taking on my client, freshly squeezed Orange Cassidy. So we have a jam-packed show. Happy to be with all of you. I know we did not get to do WWT Live earlier today because, well, you know, the parents came back and we all had other obligations, but have no fear. Your timeless elite is here, and I get to spend this Wednesday with all of you. So happy hump day, Cousin Ron. Boza, thank you guys for joining on this chat and on the Wednesday with me. And also, just to let you know, I actually found this out on Monday where AEW is going to be circling some parts of California for the next couple days leading up to Revolution. So if you are near the California area, tonight they're going to be in San Diego. Collision, they're going to be in Oakland. So if you're in various cities in the California area, I definitely highly recommend attending to either a Dynamite or Collision. Or if you want to do Revolution, it is in Los Angeles. If you've never been to a live event at AEW, it's a wonderful opportunity to do. And no surprise there, your winner of this match is Hangman Adam Page. Obviously, he's upset and he has a microphone, and it looks like he is going to call out MJF. And I don't think he's going to be leaving the ring anytime soon. So that's pretty much a stick. They're cheering for Hangman. Well, you know, one of the things Hangman doesn't like is somebody spitting in his face. I can't disagree with him on that. So he's calling out MJF. MJF's music's hitting. But of course, he's nowhere to be found. Oh, I'm very surprised. Well, I mean, I have to say, he does look pretty good in purple, and of course, he has something to say. They do not want to wait till Revolution. No surprise there. He calls it the most magical place in the world. And a special shout out to our producer from the future, putting his comments in MJF to Netflix confirmed. Sir, I don't think he's leaving. Well, I think it's supposed to be a joke, but I don't think he's leaving AEW anytime soon. But you never know in the world of professional wrestling. Oh. Well, we saw in the back. Oh, and it looks like Christopher Daniels got busted open. I think with that riddle MJF mentioned. And it's funny because Christopher Daniels and Hangman had a spat, but and Christopher Daniels was the only person that wanted to be Hangman's friend. So I think that really did put him over the edge, because I think deep down he cares about Christopher Daniels, because they've known each other for almost a decade. It's probably about Happy Gilmore 2 coming to Netflix at some point. Yep, Boza, that is. Happy Gilmore 2 is coming out soon on Netflix. Hi, Lewis Johnson. Thank you for joining on the chat. If you guys are missing, we've had some interesting stuff. Kicked off with Adam Copeland. We kicked off with Hangman Adam Page in action, and him and MJF had a spat, but it looks like Christopher Daniels got busted open, which I think it is by MJF, because if you notice, he came out with a bloodied napkin. So Hangman is irate. So they did, and look who's in the stand. Oh, Kyle Fletcher, and get that creep out of here. What is that creep Don Callis doing? Kyle Fletcher with his interesting sunglasses. As you know, he has a match with Will Ospreay at Revolution in a steel cage match, but I'm pretty. Oh yeah, and of course, as I mentioned earlier, the bounty match: Will Ospreay taking on the Bad Apple, Bryan Keith. And they're showing highlights from this past Saturday on Collision, where it was actually a good match between Bandino and Chris Jericho in a Ring of Honor World Championship match. It was a very good, solid match, but of course, the victor is the Nueve, Chris Jericho. But it was a really solid match, and I'm pretty sure him and Bandino will cross paths again. And speaking of that, Renee's trying to get an interview with I never thought in a million years Chris Jericho would be working with that creep. Oh, who cares about what Don Callis has to say anyway? Everyone. Oh, Dylan, I mean, I'm sorry if I didn't have the best Australian accent. And of course, he would go with the native Kyle Fletcher because he thinks in his mind he's the only guy, well, from Australia. So it's his words, not mine. Jack Callis are wonderful. Wonderful people, my butt with Don Callis. He's a creep. He's a jerk. He only cares about himself. But I will say he is one heck of a manager. Oh, come on, Dylan. Don't be such a party pooper. You know I tried to do the best that I could. I tried to do the best Australian accent that I could, and I knew it wasn't up to par, but just cut me some slack. Because Hangman destroyed Ring of Honor's errands without breaking the sweat they were sending up. Yeah, pretty much. And speaking of Will Ospreay, he is in Will Ospreay. He is in action against Bryan Keith in a bounty match. I mean, of course, we saw Don Callis and Kyle Fletcher up in the stands because they'll be watching this match very, very closely. But anytime Will Ospreay comes out, his entrance is always electric. So it's like almost every week. Right, Ospreay. I just love his theme song. Sounded Scadavian to me. Oh, come on. Well, Dylan, I'll take that as a compliment. I tried to do the best that I can, but I don't think I will be saying anything Aussie in a while, but only if it's necessary. But anyways, we're gonna kick off with our second match. Will Ospreay, Bryan Keith in a bounty match. I never thought in a million years Chris Jericho would be with that creep. Especially with the fact Don Callis tried to destroy him. But I don't know. But here comes the learning trees, Bryan Keith. I'm gonna say this because I know people always shit on Jericho, especially the last couple months with this learning tree. But you have to admit, this is probably the most TV time I have seen in both Bryan Keith and Big Bill. And it's nice that they're getting opportunities to wrestle with some top tier stars within AEW. As we see Bryan Keith, he's battling Will Ospreay. We just saw Big Bill wrestling Powerhouse Hobbs. So it's interesting to see them kind of starting to be a little bit confident a bit, and especially on the promos too with the learning tree. It's really nice to kind of see them starting to grow within themselves, and especially being under Chris Jericho. I mean, hey, you can say what you want, but that's the most TV time they have gotten. Gotta admit that. But we are kicking it off, and the bell has rung, so here we go. The Bad Apples taking on the Aerial Assassin. That creep went from being too confident on Collision to being scared. Well, the reason he sold his soul, he wants to destroy Will Ospreay. And if he can't do that, he went to a person that he's been known very, very well for more than a decade. A person that was with him his early career. And also a person that's too familiar with Will Ospreay. So why not Chris Jericho, one of the GOATs? But here we go. Bryan Keith, Will Ospreay. A nice one by Bryan Keith. It's evenly matched, by the way. I know Bryan Keith is definitely going to give him a run for his money, but it's definitely nice to see them go one-on-one. Let go of his tights. Let go. Chop by Will Ospreay. Nice armbar by Will Ospreay. Putting into Bryan Keith. Bryan Keith is showing some offense here. And feel free to put in the chat who you think is going to win this bounty match between Will Ospreay or the Bad Apple, Bryan Keith. Nice move. 1, 2, kick out by Bryan Keith. Dylan. He's a what? Well, I forgot what his original gimmick was, but since he's been underneath the learning tree, he's been called the Bad Apple. So I just hope I make a lot of sense in this. But he does call himself the Bad Apple in a way, but I forgot what was his gimmick. But it's a genuine. I got it. I got it, Dylan. But yeah, his gimmick was good. Yeah, but he calls himself now the Bad Apple. And he's been living up to that. He is one nasty bad apple. Ooh. Will Ospreay. And it looks like he hurt his knee. So it looks like Bryan Keith's taking advantage of that knee. Ooh, that was a nice kick. I just hope Will Ospreay doesn't think this is a walk in the park. Okay, so this is on picture in picture, but the match is still going on, so that's a good thing. It's one of the things I could say for it to be on TBS. And also, just a friendly reminder, it's not airing just on TBS, but it's also simulcast on Max as well. So you have 2 options to watch AEW Dynamite tonight. And thank you for joining with me, your PR princess, all things elite, timeless elite, Stone Cold Courtney, whatever you want to call me. I am here with all of you tonight on this watch along for AEW Dynamite as they continue the road to Revolution, which is next Saturday, their first pay-per-view of 2025. And what better way to do that than in the City of Angels in Los Angeles? Oh, nice. Oh, nice, Dylan. I'm so happy Australia is going to be getting Max soon. And perfect opportunity to watch Dynamite and Collision on AEW. And also with the cool shows that they have on there as well. Because I can say this from experience as somebody that has Max. They got some pretty cool shows in there. They have the White Lotus. They have the Penguin. And they also did a spinoff of Game of Thrones. So they got some nice stuff in there. They do have some nice shows. But looking on, as I mentioned, this is in picture, but the match is still going on. And Bryan Keith looks like he has the upper hand here and is putting a submission hold onto Will Ospreay. So he is taking advantage of it. So Bryan Keith is no slouch, but I'm happy he is getting a lot of, as I mentioned, TV time. Since he's joined the learning tree, him and Big Bill are getting a lot. So that's really good on a weekly basis, whether it be Dynamite, Collision, any way you could do it. We can watch on ESPN, but it's really... Oh, you're one of those people. Yeah. Well, that's good. At least you can watch it on ESPN. That's a good thing. At least you're able... The most important thing is as long as you find at least somewhere to watch it. That's good. And we are back live. We are back live. And as you see in the upper corner, there's Kyle Fletcher and that creep Don Callis. Creep Don Callis are watching on. It's a bounty match. Bryan Keith, the Bad Apple, taking on the aerial assassin Will Ospreay. Dylan, your secret is safe with me. I will not say a word. But going back to this match, it looks like Bryan Keith has the upper hand here and just looking to taunt Will Ospreay. So it looks like he has upper hand here. Ooh, nice move. Oh. Will Ospreay trying to get the crowd on his feet. He's trying to get the crowd on his feet, Will Ospreay. That's why he's called the aerial. Right? Oh my God. Dylan, I'm not going to put that comment on there. Bryan Keiths are so high they would make RVD blush. Oh my God. Oh, RVD. Bryan Keith's pants. Oh, his pants. Bryan Keith's pants are so high they would make RVD blush. Oh my goodness. Yeah, you can't go wrong with RVD. You really, really can't. Oh, nice counter by Will Ospreay. Oh, nice. That was a nasty clothesline. And it looks like we got some fans cheering for Bryan Keith. So at least he's getting like some fan base in the stands. Ooh, that has to be it. 2, kick out by Bryan Keith. And he's looking right at Kyle Fletcher. Kyle Fletcher. That creep better be scared. Will Ospreay wants to end. Ooh, a kick to Will Ospreay. And Keith wants to end it here. Powerbomb. Is this it? Kick out by Will Ospreay. I will see that. Oh yeah, because because the murder machines are going to be in action against the Outrunners, and also he will be at ringside with my client OC takes on Takeshita. So unfortunately, I have to deal with that creep on TV throughout the night. So yay me. Yay. So it looks like Bryan Keith wants to end this. Ooh. Counter. Headbutt. Ospreay wants to end this here. Is this it? Blade Runner. 1. And your winner of the match. Your winner is the aerial assassin, Will Ospreay. And it looks like Bryan Keith did not get the job done, and he ain't get the banny. No. Dylan, you got this all wrong. Takeshita's not. I am not pro Don Callis. You take that back. I've never liked that creep the minute he got here. Orange Cassidy is my client. Orange Cassidy. Where have you been the last couple months? Orange Cassidy. Well, oh my God. Will Ospreay, and now that way to Revolution, he's like running to the stands. He really wants a piece. And here comes Kyle Fletcher. These guys are going at it. And here we go, fighting on the fan stand. Oh, let them fight. Let them fight. Let them guys fight. But of course, we gotta wait for Revolution because next week they're facing off of each other in a steel cage. So Kyle Fletcher. But I'm very proud of Kyle Fletcher because he really is starting to find and build confidence within himself. And Will Ospreay, he's just with the fans. He's just interacting with the fans. It's like, how can you not dislike Will Ospreay? How can you not? But anyways, that was a match, and oh look, it's Grand Slam Australia. That's my client, Toni Storm, where she became history as a 4-time women's champion. So they were showing clips of that for Grand Slam. Oh yeah, they showed this clip on Collision, that dastardly witch attacking my client on Collision. Dylan, be nice. I didn't appreciate that little witch. So it looks like my client, she's going to be on the shelf. She's going to be on the shelf for a bit. So, but I know she is a fighter. My client is a fighter. She will be doing that. Hi, Bobby. Thank you for joining on this watch along for Dynamite. I'm pro Kyle Fletcher, but I'm anti those pants. Oh, come on. You know you like those pants. Well, I can tell you like Kyle Fletcher because he's from Australia. Yep, Boza, she's getting ready for Revolution. So I'm not really worried about it because, my client, she has a plan. She has a plan in place. She's going to get her hands on that dastardly witch, Mariah May. And as you see on Revolution, they're showing that promo between them for the AEW Women's Championship match. Well, promo for all Revolution. And some of the matches already advertised. So this looks like it's going to be a very good solid pay-per-view. I'm very excited to see it. I saw that my client... Yes, Bobby, your client, Harley Cameron, is going to be in action tonight against Deonna Purrazzo. You should be very proud of her. She's taken it up a notch. She's definitely putting in the work and super, super proud of Harley Cameron. And she's a very talented person. But I don't think it's the last you'll see of her in the TBS title chase because I know Mercedes Moné has a match against Momo Watanabe. But I don't think it'll be the last time we see Mini Moné. It won't be the last time you see Mini Moné. So, we shall see on that. We have to see that creep again. His murder machine. Yeah, unfortunately, like you said, I'm going to have to see this creep Don Callis all night because, as I mentioned, we got the murder machines and then we got to see me the main event. So, hoorah. What has done to Deonna Purrazzo? Well, Dylan, this is really interesting because we had a conversation about this last week after Ricky Stark's interview from Busted Open Radio, and I wish I could give you a spot because Deonna Purrazzo was fighting for the AEW Women's Championship, and then she had a very intense rivalry with Thunder Rosa, and now she's teaming up with Taya Valkyrie, and I'm actually happy to see her back on Dynamite. But I would love for AEW to incorporate a lot more storylines within their women's division that doesn't have to involve the title, along with figuring out who your pillars are for your men's, women's, and tag team division. I think that's something to really think about because Deonna Purrazzo is very talented. And also, she can do a good promo. And I think this will give an opportunity for Harley to work with another person. Aldrich decided finally getting, yeah. Oh, yeah, Boza, absolutely. It will be a great match. I know. Well, actually, it's interesting enough you say that, Boza, because even though Mercedes is not advertised, I think they may do a snippet for tonight's Dynamite because I have noticed the last couple of weeks, even though she's not publicly advertised, she does pop up. So on Dynamite. So who knows? We may get an appearance from Miss CEO. Oh, and speaking of Momo Watanabe, there is a clip of her from Stardom, and as I mentioned, she was the winner of the International Women's Cup from Wrestle Dynasty last month. And the winner of that, she gets to pick whatever title she wants. And she picks the TBS Championship against Mercedes Moné. So, and also she made an appearance at Grand Slam Australia where Mercedes got in her face. And these two are no strangers to each other because they faced off against each other last summer. So this will be round 2. And I know that'll be a decent match. Oh, Bobby, I'm happy to hear you're having a great day. And I'm happy people are having a wonderful day. And speaking of the TBS champion, wait, is that Billy Starks? That has to be Billy Starks from Ring of Honor. That has to be Billy. And she better watch out because Momo's right there. She ran fast. I knew that was Billy Starks because she looks so familiar. I knew that was Billy Starks. And the funny part about it is Billy Starks is associated with Athena, the Ring of Honor Women's Champion. That is so. Who the heck does Mercedes think she is? Does it not know? I'm like, hello, that's Billy Starks. And she had a good match, by the way, against Athena. She had a good match against her back in December. That was really good. And speaking of tag team, we're getting ready for our tag team match with the Outrunners. And I will say the one thing, because at first I didn't understand what they were, but they do have the charisma to be a really legit tag team. I just think the one thing they really need to get is a lot more signature wins. Just get a lot more wins under their belt. Just get more experience. And also, I'm happy they are getting a lot of exposure. So. Oh. Oh, they're showing the clip of the Outrunners having a message before the Omaha men's basketball team. So, yeah. So I'm really happy the Outrunners are getting a lot of exposure. So that's the one thing I wish that I just wish that was the one thing. But I think the Outrunners can be a good team. They just need to get more signature wins because they can be a serious contender. Harley Cameron beats Mercedes, or well, Dylan, as I mentioned, Harley Cameron's not out of the race for the TBS title yet, and it won't be the last time we see Minnie Monet. It won't be the last time, because I'm going to tell you something. I would not be shocked if Minnie Monet made an appearance at Revolution during her match with Momo Watanabe. So, Minnie Monet is coming. It's just a cute little puppet. And plus, I want to see the long-term storytelling between Mercedes and Harley Cameron. But yeah, I mean, Bobby, I agree with you, because I saw that match in December for Ring of Honor pay-per-view between Billy Starkz and Athena. Billy Starkz is no joke. And I don't know. I know, Mercedes, you want to be that way, but... Huh? MVP is scared of that creepy. He is accused. Oh! Oh my goodness. Yeah. I will say, MVP is good for the microphone. He is very good with that. So, but we shall see. This is tag team action between Lance Archer and Brian Cage, the Murder Machines, taking on Truth Magnum and Turbo Floyd, the Outrunners. So, but I do think they can be a serious tag team. It's just you kind of have to figure out. Well, hopefully the Outrunners get a win, because like I said, I would like for them to get a win, and well, we shall see. But yeah, the fans are going nuts for the Outrunners. But it's gonna be the $1 million question: who's gonna be the team to step up against the Hurt Syndicate? Because it looks like the last couple weeks they just been, I don't want to say putting down their competition, but she's hey, Dylan, don't you start no slander about my client, sir. Yes, in your mind you think she's not Australian, but my client, Toni Storm, is from New Zealand. Even in your mind you think it's not from New Zealand. But she is still part Aussie. And by the way, before they came to Brisbane, Australia, she posted a throwback photo of her being at the same stadium at Brisbane, Australia, when she was a teenager. So give her some slack. And plus, you did give her a nice compliment, Toni Storm. So I think deep down you like my client, Toni Storm. Even though in your mind she's not from Australia, she's from New Zealand. Well, why are you going to put Nicole Kidman in that sentence? Come on now. Why are you going to put Nicole Kidman in there? Yes, suppose exactly. She beat up Alex Windsor, or as I call her, Mrs. Will Ospreay, because I heard that was a good match. But hey, she's the champ. I mean, I don't know who's going to end Athena's reign, but oh, Dylan, I did not know that. Thank you for telling me that. I did not know Nicole Kidman was born in Hawaii, because they always mentioned she was in Australia. They never mentioned Hawaii. So, see, I learned something new. I'm almost thinking Prince Nana has to find a partner for Swerve. Yeah, you know, it's really interesting, Bozy, you say that, because it's like, as I mentioned, the Hurt Syndicate kind of beneath some of the competitors here, because it's like, you know, yeah, they kind of look down on the Outrunners, the Murder Machines. They destroyed Private Party, and we haven't seen Private Party since. FTR wants a shot at the tag titles. I mean, I wouldn't have a problem them facing off against each other. Also, other tag teams in there, like the Grizzled Young Veterans. Just seeing how they are in the landscape. But it's going to be very interesting, because if Swerve, because I was thinking about this a lot, because Swerve still has, not only with Ricochet, but he also still has a beef with Bobby Lashley. So that's also another layer to really think about. But we are back live from Picture in Picture. We have tag team action. Lance Archer, Brian Cage taking on the Outrunners in tag team match, because pretty much the winner of this match gets a potential shot with the Hurt Syndicate. So we shall see on that. Hi, Eddie Foster. Thank you for joining on this watch along for Dynamite. I always enjoy watching your AEW watch along. Bobby, thank you very much, because I always do appreciate it. I know before I came on board, there wasn't much coverage centered on AEW, but since I came along, because I watch all things professional wrestling, but AEW in particular, I started watching it, and also definitely have a soft spot for it, but at the same time, I have to give constructive feedback, not like the same type of trash you see on social media, because almost everybody wants to trash AEW, and sometimes they do deserve constructive criticism in a way, because they've been around for 6 years, but I definitely want them to thrive. I want them to continue to just keep growing and being the second best professional wrestling promotion, because we already know who's number one. So that is there. Surprised that Creep is conspicuous by his absence. He must have confidence in the murder machines. Yeah, I think he's okay with Archer and Cage, because I think they know what they need to do. But it's gonna be interesting to see with the Hurt Syndicate, because I'm thinking about this, like, who is attacking to do it, and because if they kind of wipe the floor off with every single tag team, including FTR, including the Young Bucks, I just want them to face the Young Bucks, only because I want the Hurt Syndicate to beat the crap out of them. That's all I want. It's always something. That is true, Bobby, because we not only me, but we got plenty of watch-alongs on WWT Live here. Of course, you have me on Wednesdays. You got my WWT sister Honey for Honey Night SmackDown on Fridays. You have sometimes the Mayor on Monday Night Mayor. And then, of course, NXT with our wonderful councilman who covers all the action for that. I know last night was very crazy with Moose versus Obafemi, but hey, this is the match we're going to get. Moose stepped on NXT ground, and that is going to be crazy, especially in New York City. One step closer to Stand and Deliver. And I was wondering the promo wars would be. I know, exactly. Maybe that'll come somewhere down the line. But it looks like Lance Archer and Brian Cage are trying to get the upper hand here. But I would love to see the Outrunners get a win. They need to get a win here, because I would love to see them kind of win and, just continue being a serious tag team contender. Just really kind of racking up some signature wins and seeing what they can do. But I do think they do have potential, because I remember when they first came on and I was like, who are these guys? And they just kind of weighed in, and they showed up at I was at Full Gear in person, because they faced off. Oh, and speaking of that, and roll up, the Outrunners won. The Outrunners won, and the Hurt Syndicate came out, and Lance Archer was distracted, but the Outrunners got the win. They have a shot against the AEW Tag Team titles. But it looks like, and I think ever since they become tag team champions, they kind of underestimated, like, some of their opponents. I have a feeling, and this is just me, I feel like they underestimate some of these tag teams because they're not serious contenders. But I do see the Outriders really getting a match in. But I'm curious on how the Herstons is going to do when they face off against FTR, because FTR is no slouches. So we'll see what they have to say. But up next, we're going to hear from Swerve and Prince Nana next. But they're also showing the promo that happened last week between Adam Copeland and Jon Moxley. I'm sorry. It's just anytime I see Jon Moxley, he just runs around like an angry little kid. Does anybody really notice that? He just runs around like an angry little kid. So far, that creep is 0-2 tonight. What does that mean? Well, what that means is he's gonna be Boza. If I can be honest for a bit, I just don't see Orange Cassidy winning tonight. And this is nothing against him. I just think Takeshita should retain. I just can't see my client, as much as I would love for him to be a 3-time international champion, I just can't see him holding that championship for less than a week, knowing whoever wins has to face off against Kenny Omega. And I can't see Kenny Omega losing in his first pay-per-view match in a little over a year. So for me, I would love for Orange Cassidy, but Orange Cassidy needs to get in the AEW World Heavyweight title picture, because if it's not going to be Darby that beats Jon Moxley, especially with Darby, we don't know what's going to happen with Mount Everest. Give it to Orange Cassidy. You just give it to him. So, and I also, Orange Cassidy made this note too when they had a rivalry back at Full Gear. He said he will do whatever it takes. As long as Jon Moxley is champion, he will do whatever it takes to get back that title from him. And he's made that promise. So, he needs to be in the AEW World title picture. Because if it's not going to be Darby that's going to dethrone Moxley, I would love to see Orange Cassidy do it. Because my client's up to bigger and better things, freshly squeezed. It's time for him to go after the big one. He's a 2-time international champion, but he needs to focus on the big one. Yeah, that's the surprising part. I am shocked they did this series before Omega. It almost gives... Yeah, it pretty much. But like I said, I just don't see Orange Cassidy winning tonight. And obviously, I don't want to say his return last week was a waste, but they could have done a little bit better. Just a little bit better. But anyways, since AEW Dynamite's on commercial, we're going to take a little commercial ourselves, and we're going to give a shout out to our sponsors, All Caribbean Wrestling, where our boss lady and the professor just came back from their trip from All Caribbean Wrestling, and we can't wait to hear it. So check out our sponsor.
This episode of Women's Wrestling Talk has been brought to you by All Caribbean Wrestling. Catch the wave. Go to allcaribbeanwrestling.com to check out all the latest pay-per-views, or go on the YouTube page at All Caribbean Wrestling. Also, go and check out their socials on Instagram at All Caribbean Wrestling and on X at All Caribbean WR1.
So thank you for our sponsor, All Caribbean Wrestling, here at WWT Live. And thank you for joining with me, your WWT princess, Stone Cold Elite, the Timeless Elite, anything you want to call me. I am here with all of you on a Wednesday. I know we did not get to do WWT Live today, but we'll be back on Friday. And we get to hear from the boss lady and Professor's Trip from All Caribbean Wrestling on Friday, while along with giving... our bold predictions for Elimination Chamber, because it is this Saturday. So it's definitely gonna be something. I'm very excited, and it's always fun when we get to do stuff like this. Oh, and speaking of Ricochet, they're showing the promo last week Ricochet did, and you know what I have to say? He's really started to come at himself as a heel, because I'm starting to notice a little bit And I think this is what AEW needs to do and kind of stick by it. They need to find strong heels and baby faces within all their divisions and stick with them. Like, do not go wishy-washy. Don't flip the script. Let them go and just really, really develop. Interesting take, Dylan. Ricochet is carrying his feud. Well, he has developed as a heel. But hopefully that look, please. Oh God. First you talk bad about my client Tony Storm, and now you're talking bad about one of my favorite wrestlers, Chris Jericho. Well, the first thing for Chris Jericho, he needs to drop the Ring of Honor belt. Drop the belt. He doesn't need any more belts. He doesn't need any more belts to stay relevant. Just drop the belt. All right. So we have Mr. Swerve Strickland coming in the ring with his manager, Prince Nana. Definitely a good reception for the former AEW World Heavyweight Champion. So it's nice. And it's also nice to see Swerve back in the West Coast. Exactly. Chris Jericho doesn't need retirement, but he needs to drop the Ring of Honor belt. Drop the belt, sir. You're already a living legend. You don't need another belt. Exactly. No matter what kind of feud Swerve and Nana deal with it, Nana could deal with hers. But let's hear what Swerve has to say. Yes, you did, sir. Yes, you did. He called him a bald-headed idiot. And speaking of Ricochet, he came in and he still has his rope. Oh my God. And you're doing this on the final week of Black History Month, sir. Why is he using Mercedes' line? Are you stupid or are you dumb? Because that's the same line Mercedes uses. talk about the baseball team. And also a little fact, not the Padres, but the San Francisco Giants, that's Anthony Bowman's favorite baseball team. So just a little fact there. Oh my god. Oh my god, that's annoying. Well, oh boy. Well, hold on, Nana has something to say. Adam Page just had a blunt answer, but yeah, we have a lot of interesting words from Prince Nana. It's gonna be Ricochet versus Swerve Strickland at Dynasty, and whoever's the winner beats the number one contender for the AEW World Heavyweight Championship. However, and thank you, Boza, for reminding me, Christian Cage still has his title shot that he got 6 months ago. So that's also a thing to consider. I think I want to say yes, Boza, but I don't know. We shall see, because I think it did, because he wants his robe back. A robe is a part of his legacy for him, and Mana has taken a lot of bullets. So I will say this is an interesting storyline. So pretty much, Dylan, pretty much. I mean, I don't even know, because Christian, he still has his contract. Whoever wins that gets a shot at Moxley, which I don't think we ever saw Swerve taking on Moxley before, one-on-one. But yeah, 7 matches. And speaking of that, we have trios action. We have the Undisputed Kingdom. They came out to the ring. Kyle O'Reilly, Roderick Strong, and Adam Cole. And FTR, former tag team champions. You know, I never had really nothing bad to say about FTR. I really never did, but they don't need to be tag team champions, because they are a good tag team. They've done it all. They don't need the belts to stay relevant. They just prove it what the work they do in the ring. And that's it. And we have the TNT champion, Daniel Garcia. I love Daniel Garcia, but I think they're trying to set him up with his next rivalry being with Adam Cole. Well, Bosa, to be fair, he has recently defended it the last couple weeks. Not on Dynamite, but he has defended on Collision. He's beaten Mark Briscoe, Katsuyori Shibata in a triple threat. And he also beat Kyle O'Reilly and Lee Moriarty in a triple threat match. All on Collision, by the way, which is also on TNT. And it's really convenient that we have the TNT champion on Collision that's on TNT for a consecutive week. So that's actually pretty interesting. But I think it's going to be probably because they're really kind of teasing Adam Cole versus Daniel Garcia. But also they did tease a little bit last week with my client Orange Cassidy against Adam Cole, because if you know, Kyle O'Reilly was with the conglomeration. But I think because I really thought for the TNT title, I really thought at least Shelton Benjamin would be the one to challenge. But since he's a tag team champion, well, actually, that would be interesting, because a Hurt Syndicate came in. They said they wanted all the gold. So I wouldn't be shocked if it was revisited at Daniel Garcia against Shelton Benjamin, because Shelton Benjamin was eyeing his TNT. But we shall see with Mr. Daniel Garcia. But I think they are going to set up his next rivalry with Adam Cole. So we shall see. I love for Cope to win and Christian. Of course you do. I think you're just a fan of Christian. That's what it is. And steal it from Christian. Oh God. And then they shake hands during the match. My mistake. Yep. Sunday, March 9th, Boza. Sunday, March 9th. It's back to Sundays because football season's over. If you did not know, Tony Khan handles like the football strategy for the Jacksonville Jaguars. So I think I think that's really nice since this is off season. Some of the pay-per-views are on a Sunday. Because normally if it was football season, it would be on Saturdays. So, but I'm happy like during this off season they're doing it on Sundays. So we shall see. But it is 9 o'clock and it's the final hour of Dynamite. So I definitely want to thank you guys for joining me on this watch along for Dynamite and Collision. I'm trying to catch up with anybody's. Potentially Courtney could be checking in with us in WWE Live on March 10th. So, yeah, Bosa, that's true. AEW Dynasty is April 6th in Philadelphia, the first AEW pay-per-view. Oh, sorry, I'm just looking at this because I think it is the next rivalry between Daniel Garcia and Adam Cole because they were in the face and Kyle O'Reilly kicked him in the head, and then you have FTR. So it's pretty much a little bit of mayhem in there in between. Let's see. Because Bobby, you asked me a question regarding both of my boys, Anthony Bowens and Max Caster. So, as you know, Caster's doing the open challenge, and I think people were kind of cutting the strings on it because I'm just like, he just started, he's 0-3. Isn't this the whole point of his open challenge? Because I just want to see how this goes. I just want to see how it simmers first because I want to see how he does well when he's like 0-5, 0-6, 0-7, 0-8, and then he becomes like this ruthless, aggressive heel. And it just kind of flips a switch, and then soon enough, he gets his first win. I just want to see how this develops a lot more. But I will say he has gotten better promo-wise. And he looks like he can do it on his own. And it definitely for Anthony, too. I do see Anthony as being a strong babyface because sooner or later, they're going to have a match. And if it's not at Revolution, it's going to possibly be at Dynasty. Because, I know right now for Revolution, they have 7 matches on the card, but I do potentially seeing it being at Dynasty because I definitely want to see this build up a lot. Not quicker and faster, but I want to see this continue to build up a little bit better. And who knows, maybe Max Caster may do an open challenge on the 0 hour of Revolution just to keep the storyline going and see how it goes. And possibly him and Bowens will have a match at Revolution. Dynasty! Dynasty! Dynasty. But like I said, I mean, I could see Caster doing the open challenge on the 0 hour of Revolution. And also seeing them have a one-on-one match on the main card at Dynasty. And it would be awesome because Philly's not far from me. So it would be nice to see some of my clients in person. But I am definitely ready to see them do solely because it looks like they are very comfortable on the mic. They have the charisma to do it. I mean, people tend to forget when they were together, they had some singles matches under their belts. But Anthony Bowens, he faced off against Bryan Danielson in a match, which was a request by Danielson. And Caster, he's had some matches under his belt. He did the Casino Gauntlet at Double or Nothing. He was in the ladder match at Revolution back in 2021. So they both have experience, but it's nice to see them develop. And plus, they can be versatile because, you know, when the time comes, when they come back together, at least they have their identity solely. But when they're together, that's what makes them versatile and stand out because at least they have that notion that not many tag teams have, because a lot of times people kind of know a person from that particular tag team instead of being on their own in singles matches. So this is something that they're going to develop too, because as I said, tag teams break up, but they come back together and they make up. So I'm ready to see them do a singles run. I'm ready to see them get some singles gold, and also making the, because my clients, the Acclaimed, will be 2-time champs. They will. first things first, they gotta enjoy their solo runs. Caster trying to break the Undertaker's record in oh my god. Oh, Dylan, you are a character, and that's why you are our producer from the future. And it's always a treat whenever he comes on my watch along for Dynamite, because I think I remember the first few times I did a watch along for Dynamite and he popped on. So he is good people. He is. But we are back live on AEW Dynamite, where we are in trios action. The Undisputed Kingdom, Adam Cole, Roderick Strong, and Kyle O'Reilly taking on the team of FTR and the TNT champion, Daniel Garcia. So it's a treat. Yes, you do. You try to pop on when you can, and we know you are a busy man, because you can see into the future. You are a busy man, but I always appreciate you popping along too. Always do. I don't think any. I think I'll be ready when you're on live stream. Yes, I did. To Courtney, yes. So it's funny. It's funny you mentioned that, Boza, because I was actually watching Collision over the weekend. And I did see Speedball Mike Bailey in action. I did see clips of him on New Japan and everything else. And also, this is actually a little known fact. When I did the event at Bell to Bell, and I was guest commentator, I commentated with his wife, who has a career in commentary. She used to wrestle for Ring of Honor, but she does commentary right now. And I thought that was insane, because when I saw photos of her with Mike, I was like, I had to put two and two together. And I was like, no way. I commentated with his wife, which I thought was really, really cool. So that's a little fun fact I'd like to throw in. And this is like a car wreck for this trios match. And I actually love that the trios division is starting being competitive and fun. $1 million question is, who's going to be the one to dethrone the Death Riders? That is the question. I thought it was going to be rated FTR, but I guess that's not going to happen. Darn, that's not going to happen. Because there is some strong... Oh, and here we go. Adam Cole and Daniel Garcia. There we go. You know what? I don't care what anybody says about Daniel Garcia. He has really started to grow and could be a pillar in the men's division for AEW since he's been there from the beginning. I don't care what anybody says. He really has shown a lot of growth and a lot of potential to really step up to the plate, and he really has. And he is starting to show a little bit of confidence within himself. And, ooh, look at Kyle O'Reilly's trying to hit Dax. Oh, God. And Kyle O'Reilly has a submission move. Cash has a submission move. I feel so bad for Roderick. What? Hold on. Adam Cole pinned the TNT champion. Your winners of the match is the Undisputed Kingdom. Man. He pinned the champion. You know what that means. And Daniel Garcia, one of the human centipede is... I don't even know what's referred to. Yeah, Vita has been making her name in the commentary game to the point. I'm surprised. Yeah, I know. But yeah, Vita has definitely really been fun. And like I said, I had the chance to guest commentate with her at an independent show at Bell to Bell. And she's really a nice person. And she knows her stuff. She's been doing it for a while. And that's something I get into. But oh, look at the match here. This is like chaos. We see Daniel Garcia and Adam Cole trying to separate members of the Undisputed Kingdom and FTR. But oh, and also it's been announced this Saturday on Collision at Oakland, California, TNT Championship match between Adam Cole and Daniel Garcia. So we're getting a match this weekend, this Saturday on Collision. As I mentioned earlier, AEW will be traveling to various parts of California between now and after Revolution. So if you're near some of the cities in the California area, feel free to check them out. They have Dynamite, they got Collision, they also have Revolution. Feel free to check it out. And we're sitting backstage with Claudio Castagnoli. Oh, and Adam Cole, Adam Cole. Copeland. And Copeland said it. He was taking out every single member of the Death Riders one by one. He took out Pac on Collision. Oh, he high-fived a fan. That is so cute. He high-fived him, Adam Copeland. Oh, man. But yeah, he said it. He said he was going to take out... Oh, what's that little runt doing out here? That little runt, Wheeler Yuta. Oh, there's Marina Shafir. So we know John Moxley is close by. Claudio Castagnoli with the steel chair. Well, and Copeland said he was going to take out the Death Riders one by one. He already took out Pac, but they're just putting a beating on him. It's a shame. It would have been the right time for Darby Allin to come out, but I know he's in Mount Everest right now. Get that little run out of here. I think they're trying to give him a concerto. They're really trying to... They didn't want him to make it a revolution. Who is it? Who is it? Oh, Jay White! Oh, yeah, I forgot. He has an alliance with Jay White. But it would have been nice to have the Guns come out, too, because they're with the Guns. But, yeah, Jay White! Spear. There's Jay. Jay! What is she doing? Did she learn her lesson from World's End when Jay White gave her the Blade Runner? I knew that was going to happen. That little run, that's your fault, see? And Jay White didn't have to do anything. See, Marina Shafir, sooner or later, she was going to get hit. Blade Runner to Jay White. And then hit Claudio with the chair. See, Marina Shafir should have learned her lesson when she was at World's End. When Jay White gave her the Blade Runner. And she put her hands on my client, Orange Cassidy, which I didn't approve of. But that little runt can get out of there. But I do see a match between a concerto to Claudio. 2 down. Oh. Mox Spears. And did anybody see the sign Mox Spears Willow? Oh my god. Look at John Moxley. Hey, John, this is what you wanted. No, he's really going to give Marina Shafir a concerto. What? Actually, that would have been... You know what would have been interesting? If he let Willow give the concerto instead of Adam Cole. He should have gave the concerto to Willow. That's what I'm saying. And here she comes. That's what I say. It would have been more easy for her to do it. than Adam. Well, Bosa, to be fair, you have to find a counterpart to help out with Marina Shafir because, and also, wrestling ain't what it used to be back then because some of the women took a lot of bumps. Some of the women took a lot of bumps from the guys, but I don't think they do it. I mean, they started to do a little bit, but not now because of sponsorships. And since some people want to do it as a canceled culture, it would have made more sense for Adam to do it. But to be fair, he needed a counterpart to help out with Marina, and I think it made more sense for Willow to do it. So if they're not going to have a match at Revolution, I could see them probably Dynasty. So we shall see. So, but I mean, look, I think we all do, but if it's not going to happen at Revolution, it'll happen at Dynasty. And plus, like, Marina sooner or later was going to get her ass kicked by one of the ladies in that division. So, actually, I mean, sooner or later she was going to get it. But it just would have made it. Well, that is true because, like I said, Marina, she's been butting her nose in. So it's nice to at least see her get a taste of her own medicine. Because, like I said, we've seen it at World's End. Jay White gave the Blade Runner. I didn't appreciate her putting her hands on my client, Orange Cassidy. Exactly. And like I said earlier, wrestling ain't what it used to be because some of the women took bumps for the guys, but now it's like it's a sponsor thing. It's a sponsorship thing because big sponsors look at this and some people don't condemn some of the women countering that violence, but it's starting to come back soon because a lot of these women, they're not afraid to take a lot of bumps from the guys. A lot of women, and even in the independent scene, wrestled in intergender matches such as Chris Statlander, of course Willow Nightingale, a lot of ladies in the independent scene. So I'm okay with that. Right, it would have made sense so to see Adam do it, and it would have the story. It was awesome. Exactly. So don't worry, Boza. She's gonna have that edge back. She's gonna have that edge. She's gonna have that edge back. I guarantee you when she faces off against her. And like I said, I could see it being in Philadelphia because I would like to see a Philadelphia street fight between those two ladies. So we shall see. And speaking of that, we got some ladies in action. We got Harley Cameron taking on Deonna Purrazzo. Feel the wrath, ladies and gentlemen. And I'm really happy Harley Cameron is coming into her own. Exactly. She's no slouch either. She's been doing reps in the ring. So oh, Harley Cameron, I'm going to tell you something. It won't be the Yes, Bobby, this is your client, Harley Cameron. She's doing well. She has improved a lot in her wrestling. So I am very, very proud of her. Oh my god, I just saw somebody that had a sign that looked like Mini Monet in the stands. Oh my god. And here comes Deonna Purrazzo. And she's also a Jersey girl, by the way. She's from my state of New Jersey. Is wearing all these wrestlers being kind. Well, hopefully. Well, Dylan, hopefully. I mean, hey, 12% I can handle, but they're doing their thing. And plus, Orange Cassidy just came back. It's his second match back since his return, so he'll be fine. But we got the ladies in action. We got Harley Cameron taking on Deonna Purrazzo. So this is going to be a fun, solid match. And Harley has definitely improved a lot for wrestling in a while. I mean, I can't even tell you some of the matches she was in. She's gotten better. And even when she faced off against Mariah May when she was a women's champion, a lot of people were going for Harley in that match. They were really chanting for her. So I'm happy she is starting to come on her own. But like I said, it won't be the last time we see Mini Monet. And Taya Valkyrie is looking backstage. Been a fun Dynamite for San Diego. Might be second week in a row where our card on paper wasn't that good. Yeah, I know, exactly. See, sometimes you can't judge the card on paper, because I'm pretty sure between watching NXT last night and everybody's on a high, and when they looked at the card at Dynamite, they were like, oh, this? But then when you watch it, it's actually a really good, solid 2 hours. I'm just saying. So, we got the ladies in action. I definitely see a lot of back and forth between these two, but feel free to put in the chat on who do you think is going to win. Do you think Harley Cameron or Deonna Purrazzo is going to win? And like I said, Harley Cameron should still be in the bubble of the TBS title picture, because I think this is far from over between her and Mercedes. And also, it will not be the last time we see Mini Monet. So, yeah, especially a lot of us were on a great high after that debut of Ricky Saints. And since he broke into Tony, yeah, I did. But I'm excited for Revolution. Just to let you know, there will be a post show, so it'll be on the same link. Once Dynamite is over, we'll switch right into the post show, just super, super quick. Also, just to let you know, because a lot of people are going to be asking, I will be doing a watch along for Revolution. First AEW pay-per-view 2025. So just to let you know, it has been confirmed. I just hope they put this on Max, because I know All In Texas will be streaming on Max. I'm just curious if the rest of the pay-per-views are on Max. So that's the $1 million question. Are they going to be streamed on Max, or still we still have to pay for pay-per-views? So I'm keeping my fingers crossed that all of it will be on Max. See, Dylan, I agree with you. They need to start selling the Mini Monet puppets. They have to. Because Mini Monet is starting to be popular. And I have to say, she's doing a lot more better promos than the original. So I'm just saying. But right now, the match is in picture. Even though it's in picture, match is still going on. Deonna, Harley went out of the count, and Deonna looks like she's not happy, but Deonna looks like she has the upper hand, but Harley's fighting back. You can't underestimate her spirit. Yes, Bobby, absolutely. Definitely respect Deonna Purrazzo. And she's a Jersey girl. I did mention she's from my home state. And we got some cool people in the wrestling world that are from New Jersey. I'm just saying. Acting like it's just a cardio section in there. Yeah, Boza, you're going to notice that a lot because I kind of noticed it too. Some people were not taking Harley seriously. Like, if you remember the match she had with Mariah May and also the promo she did with Mercedes and even with Taya Valkyrie, some women in the locker room didn't take her seriously. And when she did that promo before Grand Slam Australia, she kind of did not know about wrestling. And she learned a lot when she teamed up with Saraya, who has been around the block for a while. So I think this is a stepping stone for her. And I do sense gold in her future in 2025. She's still going to remain in that TBS title picture. And she's very talented. She plays guitar. She's a singer. She speaks Chinese. She does ventriloquist. She's a very talented lady. And it looks like on here, Deonna has a submission hold on to Harley. So we are back on Dynamite. Deonna Purrazzo, Harley Cameron, some ladies in action. You know what I really noticed? Because I know we've had a lot of singles one-on-one action on the women's division AEW. I would like to see some tag team matches within the women's division because there are some storylines that could intertwine with each other. And I think it would be cool to see some tag teams be together. That's what I like to see. I mean, nothing against like the one-on-ones, the Fatal 4-Ways, the Triple Threat, but I would like to see some tag teams. Because there are some ladies that do have storylines that can cross counter with each other. So that's the thing I would like to see. More tag team matches within the women's division. But Harley, she's fighting back. Nice counter. She said it. Feel the wrath. Feel the wrath of Harley Cameron. She's been saying it for the last couple months. Feel the wrath. And then after this, we got our main event. This actually has been a fun, solid Dynamite. Ooh, nasty kick by the Virtuosa. That has to be it. Ooh, kick out by Harley. Two. Ooh! Is that her new finisher? Harley Cameron got a win. That's your winner. Well, to be fair, Dylan, all I'm saying is sooner or later he has to figure out who his pillars are for that women's division. I mean, sure, you have one or two, but you have to figure out who is your group of women that is your pillars for this women's division. And also, it would be nice to do some, not just one-on-one triple threat, but it would be nice to do some tag team matches here and there. It doesn't have to be every week, but sorry. You're talking about my guy, my client, freshly squeezed. Sorry, I had to stop. I had to stop everything I'm doing because they were showing Orange Cassidy. I'm sorry, I just but I will say that it will be a good match between him and Takeshita. Can't deny Orange. That man's a 2-time AEW International Champion for a reason. And he's been there from the beginning. And he has a little history with Mr. Kenny Omega. It's definitely going to be a good match. Up next, the main event. Konosuke Takeshita. My client, freshly squeezed. Orange Cassidy. For the International Championship Series, whoever wins faces off against Kenny Omega for the AEW International Championship at Revolution. And they're also showing what happened earlier today with Ospreay doing the move of the night, which they show the Blade Runner with they show him the Blade Runner. But yeah, Ospreay picked up a win against Bryan. So this has been a good solid episode of Dynamite, but here we are. It's the main event. I'm sure it will be a great match. Maybe an upset if they give it to Orange Cassidy. Yeah, you would think, because this is his second match back since his return. And as much as I would love for him to win it, I just don't think they're going to let Kenny Omega lose in his first pay-per-view match in a little over a year. That's the one thing I just don't see. I just can't see Kenny Omega losing. And it's sad. I just don't want Orange title to be transitional, and I just don't want it to be like less than a week of him holding it. I don't know. That's just me. It's just if he's gonna be a 3-time AEW International Champion, at least have him have a memorable monthly reign. I just don't want it less than a week. I just don't want it less than a week. But you know what? We're here. We're happy. And I'm ready to go. Hi, Dion KK. Thank you for joining on the AEW brand side of Dynamite. You're just in time for the main event. Konosuke Takeshita taking on my client, freshly squeezed Orange Cassidy for the AEW International title, where the winner faces off against Kenny Omega for the AEW International title at Revolution. I have been doing good. It's been a very, very busy and productive Wednesday. I know we did not do WWT Live today, but have no fear. Your timeless elite is here to bring the fun and everything else to this watch along, coming to you from San Diego, California. And just to let you know, AEW is doing their 11-day stretch throughout parts of California. They were in San Diego tonight. They're going to be in Oakland this weekend on Collision. So they're doing rounds in parts of California leading up to Revolution, which will be in Los Angeles. So if you are near the California area, especially if you know AEW is coming to your town, whether it be a Dynamite or a Collision, just go. Go to an event. Or if you're closer to LA, go to Revolution. Definitely opportunities there for the next couple days. So AEW will be traveling across parts of California, but all right. Ring of Honor. Yep, Ring of Honor too. Oh, and look at this. So we see that. So we get to hear from Mr. Cope, Jay White, and Willow. So let's see what they have to say. Oh, I thought they did, but it looks like they took him on the ambulance. And hey, Cope said, oh. Okay. You know, I have those shades on because he's here. And he's in his Canadian tuxedo. All denim. All the time. And he has his shades. There he is, freshly squeezed. Orange Cassidy. And it's all blue. I'm going to take off my shades for a little bit, but he's here, freshly squeezed. Oh, I love it that he gives his bracelet to the kids. When Chris and Willa, I wish I wish so too, but we'll see some tag team action in the women's division. And both of his reigns, 3, 20, 60 days, and 145 are two of the longest reign in AEW. Yep, you got that right. That's why he is one of the best. Can't count out that man. And he's also from my state too. I know I mentioned it many times, but the man's from my home state. And oh yeah, oh god, that creep. And it's not a surprise. And it's not a surprise he has Mark Davis. I know why, because sooner or later Kenny Omega is going to show up. That's why Mark Davis is there. And of course that creep is going to do commentary. Ugh. Well, unfortunately, we had to deal with that creep 3 times throughout the night. So, yeah, I mean, yeah. But it's your main event. Konosuke Takeshita taking on my client, freshly squeezed Orange Cassidy. So, it's definitely going to be a fun match. Orange is ready. Hey, look, he got the shades on. He's ready. He's like, I don't care. I'm just ready to wrestle. That belt means a lot to him. That's why he's a 2-time champ. You gotta take off the shades, man. Yes, he is. He is the greatest international champion. He is. They're just, and Takeshita took off his shades. He took off his shades. He broke his shades. He broke his shades. That little bastard. Hey, look, he got another pair of shades. See? He got another pair of shades. and that man is wrestling in his shades. He knocked him out. Did he took you. That creep has his shades. Ew. Get your hands off my client's shades, you creep. Ew. He's gonna have Don Callis germs. Ew. That is true. He always makes fair. Well, it looks like Takeshi's playing mind games with him. Takeshi's begging to hit him. Slapping him on the shoulder. Oh, man. Drop kick. He's just doing what he does best. He's just doing what he does best. Woo! Nice DDT. See, this is why he's one of the best international champions. The stuff like this. You poke a bear, that's when he becomes dangerous in the ring. Why do you think he's had some gruesome matches against John Moxley? He knocked him out. So even though they're in picture-in-picture, the match is still going. Oh, I thought it was, but I guess it's not commercial. I thought it was on picture-in-picture, but it just went straight to commercial. So, well, if you did not mention earlier, we definitely want to thank our sponsors, All Caribbean Wrestling, for everything that they do. Our boss lady and professor just came back from their trip, and we can't wait to hear what they have to say on Friday when they did commentary and work that they did. So feel free to check out our sponsors, All Caribbean Wrestling.
This episode of Women's Wrestling Talk has been brought to you by All Caribbean Wrestling. Catch the wave. Go to allcaribbeanwrestling.com to check out all the latest pay-per-views or go on the YouTube page at All Caribbean Wrestling. Also, go and check out their socials on Instagram at All Caribbean Wrestling and on X at All Caribbean WR1.
Definitely want to thank our sponsor, All Caribbean Wrestling, for everything that they do. And if you're spending time with me, this is your WWT PR Princess, Timeless Elite, Stone Cold Courtney, whatever you want to call me. I am here with all of you as we are winding down to Dynamite as they kick off their adventures in California. They are in San Diego tonight. They will be in Oakland this weekend for Collision. We already found out a match that's going to happen in Collision this weekend, the TNT Championship. Daniel Garcia, Adam Cole, one-on-one. So that is going to be fun. We are in the main event match. Konosuke Takeshita taking on my client, Freshly Squeezed Orange Cassidy. Is happening right now, but I guess there was a little bit of tech issues on their end because we thought we were getting picture-in-picture, but then it went straight to commercial. So I'm a little bit bummed that I'm missing part of my client's match. Come on, boss man. You're making me miss my client's match. Oh, here we go. It's now back in picture-in-picture. So it's now back in picture-in-picture right now. So it looks like Takeshita is putting a beating on my dear client, Orange Cassidy. So it's hard to believe we're in the final hour. But we are back live on an AEW Dynamite International Championship match. My client, Freshly Squeezed Orange Cassidy, taking on Konosuke Takeshita. And oh yeah, that creep Don Callis. He's doing commentary and he has Mark Davis with him. So Kenny Omega's not far behind. And Orange is fighting back. I can't believe that creep has Orange Cassidy shades on. I know Orange has extra shades, but he had that creep. You got that creep running around in my client's shades? What's wrong with you? Well, at least OC's fighting back. Counter. Ooh, it looks like Takeshita countered. Ooh. He kicked out. See, did Takeshita think this was going to be a walk in the park? And I think I know, and I think I have a feeling they're going to end on time only because there's a soccer game happening after this. Well, I know for me, I have TBS, so it's 5 minutes left. So I have a feeling, and it'll be a shocker because they ended on time so quickly. But I know for me on TBS, there's a soccer game coming up. Referee, you better get that creep out of there. If he beats the crap out of him, get him out of here. See, this is why I need Kenny Omega to come out here, because I just want him to beat the crap out of Don Callis. That's all I want. Orange Cassidy telling Cassidy, come on, hit me. Hit me. See, he's not afraid of a challenge. Hands in his pockets. Ooh. Oh, that almost broke the commentator's table. Oh my god. No, the commentator's desk almost broke. Oh man, and they're showing the replay of this. They should just let it break all together. But I guess they didn't want to do that. Both men enter the ring. Orange punch. See. See? See? That's what happens when you take my client's shades. Good. He got his shades back. Get him off that creep. Ooh, a nasty punch. Counter. Ah! Is he gonna do it? Orange, no. Takeshita caught him. Ooh, that was a nasty. What? Oh, I thought he was that close. He was that close to being a 3-time AEW International Champion. Has to be it. 2, 3. And your winner, and still AEW International Champion Konosuke Takeshita. He will be facing off against Kenny Omega at Revolution. By the way. Well, you know what? I said this earlier. I did not think my client was going to win, but he did put up a good fight. It's just he needs another belt. He needs to get in. He needs to get in that AEW World Title picture. No shade against the international belt, but It's time for him to get into the world title picture again. And he made a promise. He said, as long as Jon Moxley is champion, he's going to do whatever it takes to stop him. So he's off to doing bigger and better things, my client. And it ended at 10 o'clock. It ended at 10 o'clock. Oh, and this Saturday, they're going to hear from Kenny Omega this weekend. And it looks like Takeshita is taunting Kenny Omega's signature. So, tag team match. Okay, we're going to see FTR versus Kyle O'Reilly and Roderick Strong. And tag team match at Oakland this weekend on Collision. Of course, as I mentioned, we have a TNT Championship match. Adam Cole taking on Daniel Garcia. I can't believe it. Dynamite's going to end on time. I can't believe it. That creep gave him my shades. He took my client's shades. That bastard. Well, you know what? That's why I'm going to pick Kenny Omega to win the title next week because of that. But yeah, he needs to disinfect those glasses. They made you believe. I know. Don't worry, Dion. He would have been a 3-time AEW International Champion, but I just did not want the third reign to be erased. But he will be a 3-time. But my client OC, he's up to bigger and better things. He wants the AEW World Heavyweight Championship. But Dynamite, I can't believe it. 10 o'clock. It has ended. Because normally we get an overrun. But we ended Dynamite. So, yay. We're definitely getting ready to do a quick post-show. So make sure to go to the bathroom, get a beverage, you can relax, anything, because I'm going to take the next 30 seconds to give you the quick recap of the post-show and end for tonight's episode of Dynamite, which actually was a very solid episode and the second to last episode before AEW Revolution. So give yourself a quick 30 minutes and I will be back shortly. Hey guys, so we are back to just do a quick post-show of tonight's Dynamite, coming to you from San Diego, California. And as I mentioned, AEW will be doing their 12-day tour throughout California. They kicked it off in San Diego, and then they got the Saturday Collision in Oakland. So they'll be continuing parts of it leading up to Revolution. So this is going to be really, really fun. But we kicked off the show where Mr. Adam, well, people call him Cope, but I'm going to say Adam Copeland. He made a promise that he was going to take out the members of the Death Riders one by one until he gets Jon Moxley. So he came in the ambulance and he kept his word. And then we got to see MJF, where Boza said it looked like he was getting his mole removed. And of course, we saw Hangman Adam Page kicking off the show where he was in action, quick action, and he picked up a victory. And of course, he called out MJF because he was not waiting around. They're not waiting till Revolution. And MJF had a few words to say, but it looked like he also beat up Christopher Daniels in bloody fashion in the back. And also, it really did shockwave to Hangman Adam Page because we did see the last couple of months Christopher Daniels was trying to be Hangman's friend. They've known each other for more than a decade. So this really did hurt a lot for Hangman Adam Page. But also, it did help build their match to Revolution a bit. So I think this is really, really great to see. So kudos to that. We also kicked off with the second match, a bounty match. And hi, Fernando Zayas. Thank you for joining on this watch along for Dynamite. And you're just in time for the post show. Yes, poor Christopher Daniels. So hopefully we get an update on him soon. We kicked off with a bounty match between the aerial assassin Will Ospreay and Bryan Keith. I just want to say this because I did enjoy the match between the two of them, and they really, really brought it tonight. I mean, obviously, Kyle Fletcher and that creep Don Callis was watching that match very, very closely. But it was definitely a solid match between the two of them. They definitely did deliver. And as I mentioned, this is like the most TV time I've ever seen Bryan Keith since he's been with the Learning Tree, Chris Jericho, him and Big Bill. So you can say whatever you want about Chris Jericho, even though he's one of my favorite wrestlers, but he's giving them a lot of TV time. And it looked like Bryan Keith looked very confident when he won his matches, Will Ospreay. But the winner of the match came to as Will Ospreay. After the match, Kyle Fletcher and Will Ospreay looked like they were about to kill each other because they also have a match at Revolution. So that match is going to be crazy. And the match will be in a steel cage, by the way. So they had to do that. But unfortunately, they gave an update on my client, Tony Storm, who was not there because of the heinous attack by that wretch, Mariah May, who attacked her this past Saturday on Collision. But she is recuperating from her injuries leading up to Revolution. And the one thing it really sucks is because Queen of the Ring is happening next week. I just hope she does some press time. That's all I want. I just want her to do some press highlighting the movie, which really sucks because I know she's selling her injuries, but I would like for her to promote the film since she's in the movie. So I just hope she at least gets some press time. But also, we got to see highlights of Momo Watanabe, who was the winner of the International Women's Cup at Wrestle Dynasty last month. She will be taking on Mercedes Moné for the TBS title. And Mercedes had a quick encounter with Billy Starks. If you know who Billy Starks is, she's from Ring of Honor, and Mercedes had some interesting words for her to say. Because I was like, could this be a possible way for Athena to wiggle her room into the AEW world? I don't know, but yeah, we got to see Watanabe, and Mercedes ran scared of Momo. So she wants her title, but like I said, there's another person that's aiming for that TBS title, but we'll talk about that later. We got to see the Outrunners versus the Murder Machines, and it was a very good match highlighting some of the tag teams within that division. Nice to see the Outrunners get another win. I just want them to keep getting consecutive wins, signature wins, so they can build up as a serious tag team contender, because it's there. The fans love them. They have the charisma to do it. They just have to build up consistently. But the Outrunners picked up the win, and they have a shot. They have a shot against the Hurt Syndicate, and it looked like the Hurt Syndicate didn't take them very seriously, but I would not underestimate the Outrunners one bit. So we shall see where this goes. Also, we get to hear from Swerve Strickland and Prince Nana. They talked a little bit about, wrapping up Black History Month since Swerve Strickland made history winning the AEW World Championship last year at Dynasty in Philadelphia. And, Swerve Strickland still calls himself the most dangerous man of AEW. He does call out Ricochet because these guys are far from over. So Ricochet comes out, and Prince Nana presented an offer to Ricochet where they will have a rematch at Revolution, and whoever is the winner will be the number one contender for the world title. Ricochet accepts the challenge, and it will be at Revolution. But interesting enough, Nana's mentioned he's taking a lot of bullets for Swerve Strickland, and he told him because Ricochet still has his robe, and Nana said either he gets the robe back or otherwise he doesn't know if he can do this anymore. So yeah, that's very interesting to see, but a lot more development happening. We also got to see some trios action. The Undisputed Kingdom against Daniel Garcia and FTR. It's a possibility. I mean, when you've been together with your manager for so long, it really takes it in. But we shall see what happens. Also, I would not be shocked if Swerve was really but we shall see what happens between Swerve and Prince Nana and Ricochet. But I will say Ricochet has done a solid job being a heel, so I'm very happy for him. Also, as I mentioned, trios action, we had Daniel Garcia, FTR, taking on the Undisputed Kingdom, consisting of Roderick Strong, Kyle O'Reilly, and Adam Cole. Definitely strong from the trios. And it's nice to see some of the trios action starting to build up a bit. This match was very solid. It was very hard hitting, but your winners of the match was the Undisputed Kingdom. So, after the match, Adam Cole pinned Daniel Garcia. As I mentioned this Saturday on Collision, Adam Cole gets a shot at the TNT Championship against Daniel Garcia. So that's definitely going to be a match. And as I mentioned, Adam Copeland was there earlier, and he made a promise that he was going to take out the Death Riders one by one. So Claudio was shown backstage first. Adam Copeland attacks him, dragged down in the arena, and that little runt Wheeler Yuta comes out. And of course, Marina Shafir is not far behind. So I thought Adam Copeland was going to be destroyed by the concerto, but Jay White comes in. And also, we tell you, Wheeler Yuta accidentally hit Marina Shafir to the knee. Jay White drops Yuta with the Blade Runner. Adam Copeland hits Cassidy with the concerto. And Jon Moxley, he's looking on. This is like the first time I've seen him scared for his life. And Adam Copeland sets up the concerto to Marina Shafir, but Willow Nightingale comes out and she delivers the concerto. So it was definitely something that's needed. And Willow and Marina Shafir are going to have a match. I'm not sure if it's going to happen at Revolution, but it will. Well, Fernando, just to be safe, she did, but this is far from over between these two because they're going to have a match. They are definitely going to have a match. I'm not sure if it's a Revolution, but I could see it being at Dynasty because I think there are some rivalries that they could work with leading up to Dynasty. Willow and Marina is definitely one. Anthony Bowens versus Max Caster is definitely another one for Revolution. And also, I don't know where this is going to go with the AEW World Heavyweight title, but there's going to be a lot of different angles. And yes, as you know, Christian Cage still has that contract where he's guaranteed a shot at the World Heavyweight title. So he is lurking. So there's a lot of rivalries we can build up for Dynasty once Revolution is done. I was very happy to see he is scared and he knows he can't beat Adam Copeland. I wonder, is it really about the AEW World Heavyweight Championship, or does Adam want to get rid of John from AEW? Well, this is going to be really interesting. And also, we still don't know who, we still don't even know who the Death Riders are working for. Because I was saying this a couple months ago. I said I would not be shocked if the Elite was working alongside the Death Riders secretly. Because I was saying this like a couple months ago when they first started. I really kind of said it because I noticed they did not tag any members of the Elite. So it would be kind of an interesting turn of events. But that's just me. But also we get to see some ladies in action. Deonna Purrazzo taking on the ever-talented Harley Cameron. And this was definitely a match between both of these ladies. Harley Cameron picked up a win. Yeah, people were hoping Jay McMahon was the benefactor. But I don't know about that. But like I said, I would not be surprised if it was the Elite working backstage handling this. So we shall see. But anyways, going back to Deonna and Harley Cameron. Harley Cameron picked up a win. She's on a roll, and she is still going to be in that TBS title picture because, as I mentioned, it will not be the last time you see Minnie Monet. I don't care what the mayor says. I don't care what anybody else to say. But, Deonna is too good to lose to Harley. Well, Fernando, just to be fair, I don't know how much you've watched AEW because the last couple months, Harley has improved a lot. Some of the matches that she was in with Willow Nightingale. She had a match with Mariah May where she was women's champion and the fans were going nuts for her. She was in that Casino Gauntlet match. So she does have some matches under her belt. I mean, I know it wasn't wins, but she's starting to build up a little bit. And I think once it gets that repertoire in, she can do it. But I do see her being in that TBS title picture because I think this is far from over between her and Mercedes. We definitely have not seen the last of Minnie Monet. But congratulations to Harley Cameron on getting a win against Deonna Purrazzo. And then the main event. My client, Freshly Sweet's Orange Cassidy, taking on Konosuke Takeshita for the AEW International Championship. And they definitely had a hard-fought battle with each other. I did not like, and of course, as I didn't mention this, but that creep down Callus was there. Three times in a row. Three appearances in one night. So it was definitely a hard-fitting match between these two. I really did enjoy it. They definitely fought harder. And also with the fact Orange Cassidy is no stranger to the International Championship. He's a 2-time champion, but I made a prediction that he was not going to win it, especially with the fact this is his second match since he's been back, and I just can't see him winning it and then losing it after a week. So I would like to, if I wanted to win the international title, I want it to be in number one. But my client OC, he has bigger things to worry about because he wants that he should be in the AEW World Heavyweight title picture. So he has bigger things to do. But your winner was Konosuke Takeshita, and he retained the International Championship, and he will be facing Kenny Omega at Revolution. So that definitely is a solid match. That was definitely a match. Speak for itself. Awesome way to main event a Dynamite. Also, a sleeper match of the night for me. I gotta go with Bryan Keith and Will Ospreay. That match was really good. And as I said earlier, like, you can say whatever you want about Chris Jericho or whatever. His ego does get the best of him. But ever since Bryan Keith and Big Bill have been with them in the learning tree, this is the most on-air time that they've gotten since being underneath Chris Jericho and really wrestling in various different matches with Samoa Joe, with with Samoa Joe, with Powerhouse Hobbs, even now tonight with Bryan Keith battling Will Ospreay. That really shows that they are getting TV time and they're starting to feel a lot more confident within themselves and just trying to figure out where they want to get to. So I'm very happy. That's definitely a sleeper match for the night for me. Bryan Keith versus Will Ospreay. That really got the crowd on their feet. And we got to see a lot of mayhem after the match between Kyle Fletcher and Will Ospreay. They're definitely going to have a steel cage match at Revolution. So definitely it was an overall solid episode of Dynamite, and I give it a 9 out of 10. It was definitely very solid. A lot of mayhem, a lot of action. Nice to see some stars we haven't seen in a while, and some really good segues in storylines. And I think that's one of the things AEW needs to focus on, continuing and building storylines, but also finding out who are your pillars in your men's, women's, and tag team divisions. Like, who are your pillars to lead you straight forth into the future and making stars out of nothing. So I give the episode a 9 out of 10. It was definitely a solid match. Second to last episode before Revolution. So this has been a solid one. But I do thank everybody for joining on this watch along for AEW Dynamite. It has been fun setting it with all of you. Definitely want to shout out everybody that's been in the chat. And I want to make sure I do not miss anybody. Of course, I had a pop in from our producer from the future, Dylan, Cousin Ron, Boza, Bobby, Lewis Johnson. Making sure I don't miss anybody. Eddie Foster for joining. I'm just making sure I don't miss anybody. D-Ron Kincaid, thank you for joining on this episode of Dynamite. Trying to make sure I think I saw Aaron Teagle for joining. And I just want to make sure I don't miss anybody for this. But this has been a very fun episode. 9 out of 10 for AEW Dynamite. As I mentioned, they're on a 10-day, 11-day tour throughout California. So if you're near that area, feel free to check out a Dynamite, Collision, and Revolution. Also, I do hear Ring of Honor is doing some taping in California as well. So feel free to check that out. Feel free to follow me on WWT Live every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. You know, Wednesdays are my days when it comes to AEW Dynamite. You do not want to miss next week's episode because it's the final Dynamite before Revolution. And there's going to be so much mayhem with that. Also, not just me, feel free to check out some of our other watch-alongs that we have. This Friday, we have Honey Night SmackDown with my sister. We also have Monday Night Mayor with our mayor. Tuesday night, Pharaoh with our councilman. So we're all doing watch-alongs for Raw, NXT, and SmackDown. I'm not sure. I don't know if we're going to do a watch-along for Elimination Chamber this weekend, but we shall see. But also feel free to follow me on @CourtneyNJ11, where I do have a lot of content in the works. I am very excited to spend it with all of you tonight on Dynamite. And this has been a fun episode. So feel free to follow me on my social channels. I will see you back here on Friday, where we're getting the entire band back together. So we get to hear from Boss Lady and Professor Ship from All Caribbean Wrestling. And feel free to continue following Women's Wrestling Talk, the #1 women's wrestling network on the planet. Have a great evening and be safe.
Thanks for joining WWT. Don't forget to like us on all social media platforms at WW Talk Pod. Like and subscribe on all video and audio platforms like yesterday, my G. And check out our website at www.talkpod.com. Thanks for watching Women's Wrestling Talk, the #1 women's wrestling network on the planet.